Earlier this month, when I spoke about candidate Joe Biden versus Elizabeth Warren, I mentioned that his son Hunter did a $1.5 billion deal with the Bohai Industrial Fund Management Company and the State Bank of China. Its timing, by the merest coincidence, overlapped with his father's involvement in diplomatic relations with the Chinese government. I speculated that should Biden become the Dems nominee, Mr. Trump would probably not be too polite to bring up the deal in the general election campaign, as well as Mr. Biden's likely insider knowledge of Spygate. Now, in addition, we have Hunter Biden's position on the board of Burisma Holding Company in Ukraine to consider. The appointment at a monthly stipend of $50,000 occurred immediately following the ouster of Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych, when the U.S. was concerned to build an alliance with the country's new president. Again, by the merest coincidence, Joe Biden was involved in those diplomatic talks in Ukraine, and he was instrumental in coercing the firing of the prosecutor looking into corruption allegations involving Burisma, whose co-founder had occupied a key position in the Yanukovych government. Genial Joe threatened the Ukrainian government with the withholding of aid if they didn't fire the prosecutor. It's on video. Just an aside, given the latest unsubstantiated potshots by the Dems at President Trump. It's not unheard of for powerful, influential fathers to help their kids out. It isn't an inherently bad thing for either the kids or the fathers, especially if, like President Trump's children, they're intelligent, talented, and hardworking, and provided it stays within the bounds of the law. Let's take those first qualifications first. What kind of a son is Hunter Biden, who is now 49 years old? He was a history major in college and later obtained a law degree from Yale. He's described as a lawyer and has actually practiced law off and on, but he soon got into lobbying, sitting on corporate boards such as Amtrak's, and undertaking various business development enterprises. While engaged in these various professional activities, he became addicted to cocaine and alcohol and displayed a taste for prostitutes. He was bounced out of the Naval Reserves for cocaine use and has been in and out of detox and rehab on an almost routine basis. Clearly, Biden, the father, has a less than stellar son on his hands, although supposedly the two are close. Hunter, for example, flew with his dad to China on Air Force Two. Whether this was at taxpayer expense or Hunter reimbursed the government, I don't know. In the context, it's a minor detail. Let's assume he paid his own way. The interesting point for me is that both he and his father swear that they never discuss business. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one too. Given Hunter's lifestyle, there were undoubtedly other matters to occupy them on long flights and during family get-togethers. In 1993, Hunter married Kathleen Buell. The couple have 3 children. When she divorced him in 2017, among the allegations was that he once ran through $120,000 of household cash in a couple of months, binging on cocaine, booze, and hookers. He agreed to pay her $37,000 a month to keep the wolf away from her modest doorstep, while claiming to live on $4,000 himself. No sooner had the dust settled on his broken marriage, however, when he took up with his deceased brother's widow, Hallie Biden. That stirred up a bit of controversy, but Hunter said they were just two grieving people turning to each other for support. Whether they handed out packets of Kleenex with that tearjerker is unknown. Anyway, in March of this year, Hunter gave Hallie the boot, and barely 2 months later, in May, was smitten by sizzling South African filmmaker Melissa Cohen on location in Los Angeles. Before the month was out, they got married in a private ceremony. No family members were present. Melissa has herself quite a catch. Perhaps she'll succeed in making something out of her new hubby, where his father failed. We now come to the second point, which is within the bounds of the law. A July article in the New Yorker by Adam Entus begs the question, will Hunter Biden jeopardize his father's campaign? That's the title. The New Yorker is not known for going gaga over President Trump, and the author does his best, without whitewashing the Sun, to suggest that the appearance of influence peddling by Joe Biden to help his son get on in life is just the Republicans attempting to discredit the one man sure to deny the Trumpster a second term. Hunter, whose dubious character and addictive behavior are inconsistent with career brilliance, is apparently being exploited to smear his straight arrow father, just because the two deals under scrutiny, China and Ukraine, happen to intersect diplomatic missions carried out by Mr. Biden. Rudolph Giuliani, who's Mr. Trump's lawyer and another Republican the left doesn't much cotton to, is an experienced prosecutor privy to information the New Yorker doesn't have. He declares that Joe Biden sold the vice presidency to the Chinese. Hunter Biden himself says that he regrets his Ukrainian undertaking, although implying that that's only because it makes his father appear compromised. In a media environment in which perception passes for reality, the younger Biden is on solid ground playing that card, but he's still masquerading. In matters of law and politics, even the appearance of impropriety is suspect. The older Biden knows that. He spent his life in politics. Indeed, his own past includes plagiarism, and he was vice president in an administration notorious for impropriety and corruption. Sorry, folks, but the Bidens' actions raise more questions than they answer, and we're wise to be skeptical that all of this is just Republican smear tactics to take down a decent man. That's a strategy, unfortunately, more commonly associated with the Democrats. While this is all getting sorted out, the political tectonic plates are shifting underfoot. As of yesterday, 3 up-to-date polls, the Quinnipiac, the Economist YouGov, and the Los Angeles Times Berkeley, show Warren ahead of Biden. In short, Mr. Biden has lost his once comfortable lead as the frontrunner and is now trailing a radical leftist. I detect the subtle hand in all of this of Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, my favorite socialist. How she pulled it off, I couldn't begin to guess. But now all the Democrats have to do is get this impeachment gig onto solid footing, and we're on our way to the paradise Karl Marx foresaw for us a century and a half ago. Congratulations all around. But keep your eye on the Trumpster. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe to support the channel and pass the link along. We'll see you back here next time.